Lovely. So we are live on Facebook and we are
Finally.
live on finally on Instagram also. Early in the morning, 7 o'clock. A lot of I think brainstorming already happened in a lot of technical areas of our lives. So yeah.
Collaboration, brainstorming, technology classes, all this has happened in the last 30 minutes. Social media lessons.
Yeah, Chitra, I
I
think you will
know.
just bring your
Social
two
media
cameras
lesson.
together if you can do that, because then you are
Yeah.
looking in one
Just close
camera,
to
you're
each
not.
other, next to each other.
Okay,
Yeah,
let
yeah.
me try that.
Is this
Yeah,
okay?
Is this
that's
better?
much better. Yes,
Okay.
definitely. Okay,
Yeah,
we
Bhaval,
can
if
kind
you
of.
also can, you if you don't want to keep looking here and there, then maybe keep both the cameras, your phone and this camera, next to each other, kind, or at least next. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. ठीक है. Great. So welcome everybody. Generally we say good evening, but today it's a rare day for me. You can see. Good morning. If at all you see me sleeping off during the we talk, I'm just apologizing right now only. Uh, um, a very good morning to everyone, and. The great thing is that we are also going to talk about something extremely interesting today that we have been talking about throughout this month. That is learning style, particularly learning style with children. Just to do a little flashback, we did 3 V talks on that, and all these 3 V talks we talked about. Uh, uh, this learning style in a very different way. We began with what is learning style, whose learning style we are talking about when we are talking about learning styles. And the first we talked about that basically maybe we all have different learning styles in different genres or different areas of our life. We pick up things very differently. Ideally, I think in a very conventional way, we have looked at learning style as visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. But then, if we go beyond that and see that maybe we don't stick to one way always. I think we try and work with different ways in different situations, in different uh, maybe areas, or in different interest of our lives. Then I think we moved little ahead on the second one, saying that now let's see, when we have figured out, when we have known that we all operate from different learning styles, how do we understand that a child is which learning style is operating from, how we are operating from a different learning style, and how do we identify and understand that these are two separate learning styles. Of course, our style, if we thopify that on the child also, that is one way of doing it, which is absolutely fine. But we also have another choice. If the child is choosing one style, then how do we be with the child and understand that thing a little deeper. And the third was more about how do we now we know that there are different learning styles. We have a different style, child has a different style, maybe my husband has a different, and everybody around us have different styles. Then how do we value add, how do we support, or how do we bring something to the whole experience of the child. Ratnesh, you can add, omit, whatever you want to edit in this, if I'm there or no. Yeah.
Sure, sure. We can carry on. We let's
Yeah.
listen more to Bhaval and
Chitra
Chitra. I'm
and
more keen.
Bhaval. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, Bhaval and Chitra, welcome to the We Talk. Um,
Thank you.
I think the
Thanks.
the beautiful aspect is that you both have worked with children, and either your own child. I mean, Chitra is already a mother. Bhavar is already a mother, and as Ratnesh correctly pointed out yesterday, that here we have 5 boys mother already. So I want to begin this talk just hearing from you how you look at learning styles itself. What are your thoughts about it?
So, Bhaval, you want to start?
Uh, yeah, I can. Learning styles like if I see from what I remember with my son, he's 13 now, and yeah. So what style? There are different ways, right? There is something which is continue. Like I will see inconsistency, that okay, something he does this way, and there are few things which I would see always differently, like so if I talk about a style which has been consistent, is like when he picks up something, like when he was quite young, like around, I would say, 3 4 5 years, or maybe even before that, uh, when he used to solve the puzzle, he would sit for long hours, like and he would focus very well, one thing in hand, whenever he takes in hand. And that I feel, whether it is those interest with different interests, like, right from puzzles to art to Legos to Rubik Cube to origami to digital art nowadays. So that has become consistent. Like he would go into one thing and he will just follow consistently, or with focus for long hours. That I would say. And there are few things which differs from time to time, or thing to thing, is like um, uh, he yeah, there are. And then there is so many varied things, like style, may I would say, there are times when I would say he would go with videos, like then to go for those written format, though he likes reading a lot, but he will go for video learning, not for the format, matlab written format. So
So I
here,
think,
as you
yeah, so I think what you're trying to say is that uh, maybe in some areas of his life he showed a particular way of his learning style, that he picked up things in one style and one manner. He explores things in one way, and in some other areas he he chooses different ways to explore different aspects. Am I there, if that is what is you're trying to say?
yes, yes, yes.
Okay, okay. And I think when you are also mentioning about let's say interests like Rubik's Cube or Lego or maybe puzzles, in those interest areas, maybe he would like to be like into it completely, and not pick it up like here and there, but
Huh.
just be there fully, kinds. That is
Yes,
what you're
for
trying
long
to say.
hours. Like I would say,
Okay.
I would. It's not my style. What I can connect, like, our style is different. It's not my style that I will stick to one thing for long hours. He does. Uh, yeah. So that there, I can see the difference. What you were talking, and I could hear that, and I could now connect that thing.
Okay, okay, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. Chitra, how about you?
Yeah, so I have two boys. One is just about to be 6, and one is just about to be 8. And I have learned a lot observing how they learn. Okay, I will start with when I was born. One thing used to ring in my head, like when I was a child. The act of we were given chores, right, in the house. So the act of cleaning the table, that still I remember. My mom always used to say, "You have to clean the table like this." And I used to always argue why. I mean, you want a clean table, so leave it to me how to clean it. And this was an argument for many years, many years. And she's like, no, there is only one way to clean a table, right? And this is that way. And I would keep finding different creative ways to clean the table just to prove her wrong. And so that kind of stayed with me when I had my kids. Okay, I have done it all, standing on the chair and cleaning, pour water first and then wipe, or work with a dry cloth. All right, tried everything. So with my children, I consciously, though I try not to impose my way of learning, but still I end up doing that many times. Okay, I catch myself doing that. But what I have observed mostly, the pattern is that their learning style changes. It keeps on changing. There is no one style, but it changes more based on their goal, is what I've observed. Like, why is he trying to learn something? If he's learning because he's been asked to learn, the way he does it is different. If he's learning because he has chosen to go into something, it's very different. It's like what Bhaval mentioned, it's total immersion for 10, 15, 20 days, hours and hours, without any distraction. He can work if he's chosen. If he's doing learning something just to get something done because he's been given a chore, he's quite comfortable asking me or his dad how to do it, because he just wants to get it done. He really has no interest in understanding that or learning it. And if he is learning something because he wants to teach his younger brother, then also I have seen a totally different style of learning, of the way he's approaching. So I have seen that whatever his goal, he changes. The elder one, I'm saying. The younger one, I'm sure it will change a lot again. But what I observe is with him, he's very physical. Okay, he loves to learn things by jumping around, touching, physically picking up things and all that. And frankly, I have never taught them to read and write. They have taught themselves. But the way the younger one learned, he told me, whenever I would ask him to, try writing in his books like the way his elder brother did, he was not at all motivated to write anything or read. But when I cut out all the alphabet just by observing, I didn't ask him. One day I just, on this size pieces of paper, coaster size, I wrote alphabets, many copies, A, B, C, D, and large and small. And he just took them, he put them all over our living room on the floor. Okay, so across the floor he spread it out, and then he said, "Now mom, tell me a word to spell." So I said, "Okay, rat." So, or cat or whatever. And he would have to literally go across the room to go find the R, fetch it, and physically he was moving and he was spelling beautifully. I don't know where he learned that spelling. I have never taught him, but he knew all the spellings. But that was the way he wanted to learn, and he figured it. So it had to be physical. So both have their styles, but I've definitely seen it's pretty goal based, like depending on why they are learning something, the way they immerse themselves or don't immerse, they resist. They're very honest, and it's very clear on their face when they don't want to learn something. I gave up in our homeschooling journey last 8 years with Zohar, my elder one. I have given up any pretense of trying to follow a curriculum, which I started with when we initially started homeschooling, because he's like just not ready to follow a strict pattern. So that's, he just wants to learn what he wants to learn. So I have to respect that.
Wow. So, Ratnesh, this was a very interesting point. Goal-based learning styles. I think that's what even we kind of explored. But if you have any thoughts in mind, Ratnesh, about that also, that how the moment goal changes, what exactly the process happens, and how we shift from another. What do you say? Another tool of exploring or doing that thing.
Yeah, I think we talked about it in the first session, that I would not use the word goal, but I would use the word when
Yeah.
the context changes. So I was,
Yeah,
if you remember, I was giving the
yeah.
example of if you're eating food, but let's say you have a fight with your hubby, then a spouse, then your style of eating changes. And if
Yeah,
you're very in a
yeah.
romantic mood, then your style of eating will change. So the context changes, our style changes, absolutely. So even we don't have a fixed style. Even we keep
Yeah.
changing our styles
Yeah.
simply based on the context.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think it was very interesting, the whole point of exposing your child to the world of this reading and writing. I think a lot of mothers, a lot of parents have this concern that maybe my child is not learning in our way, and we are We are kind of not saying that any way is a perfect way. Maybe if your child is not really wanting to do this for entire life, we are absolutely okay with that also. But if at all that this is coming as your need, that okay, as a parent, it's my need that I really want my child, to get exposed to this, then maybe there are a lot many other styles that we must have exposed or we must have explored. Just let's say in terms of reading and writing. So Bhaval, do you have any memory of such where you have dealt with a different tool, or not only this, in any other experience of yours also working with your child, where
Hmm.
you explored a different tool to um,
Uh, yeah, definitely. Like, reading and writing. Again, he has been homeschooled since last he was, when he entered grade one, like in preschool, he used to go to school, but when he entered grade one, so by the time I think he had learned reading and writing through the preschool. But when it came to my mother tongue, like, we used to
Gujarati?
read a lot of Gujarati, yes. So when it came there, and I would say when it was up to the child, like, when he was going to a system, it was not his choice, like that was some particular way where everybody follows that, right? But when
Yeah.
it came to his own thing, yes, there were like he used to listen a lot. By listening, and when he started reading, because he had heard a lot that language, he would make out that word when he started reading Gujarati language. Yo, so and so what is the next word he used to, maybe guesswork used to happen, but like little bit of letters here and there he would see, and then he would guess that word. Yeah. And when it came to writing, little bit of writing, like it happened that we used to go to park, and with the stick and that mud mein, he used to write. He had never written in the book Gujarati. He had never written in the book, or maybe yes, lately, before when face comes with me that acha abhi likhte hain. So yeah, so
Rajneesh, you see, we are yet not out of this, yeah.
so yes, he would write in 2 3 lines, one letter, like words and all. But yes, earlier when it was happening, like when we read, and I would tell that acha how that does it form, so he would write with stick. And because we used to go in the park every day, so he would write with the stick and all. So that I think yeah, that way he learned reading and writing, I would say, when it came to
Yeah,
mother tongue,
yeah.
which is in my memory right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Mhm.
also remember a very important. I think, at least for me, it was very important talk which we had. I think last we talked, where Ratnesh mentioned about how languages are very visually connected to us, particularly English language when it comes to. I think we kind of the dictation and everything we talked about. Of course not trying to say that this is the only way, but yes, trying to explore it in a much deeper way. What is actually happening when we are reading it, what is actually happening when we are narrating it, what is actually happening within the brain also, and how are we adapting all of these things in a very very different context. So I think when I'm hearing Chitra and Bhaval both, I'm also hearing more perspectives of exposure of the same thing. How I was just wondering how you feel that when like Chitra began with her own experience, that I have a learning way, like learning style, and maybe the child has a different learning style. In your case, you talked about you and your mom. So how you deal with those situations when you see that your style is very different than your child's style, and
Yeah.
you still really have that need as a parent, or you fawn that, I want to value add something, I want to do something about this. I understood that the child is this way, but फिर भी कुछ तो करना है, कुछ मतलब I am important feel करना है तो
So I
मैं
have
क्या करूँगी parent
exactly,
बन के?
this really, I had a similar, I've been going through something similar with my elder son. I have been observing that he wants to learn many things, okay, and he's very self-driven, but he does not like to learn from anybody else, okay. And it's my need or my belief that, okay, if you like origami, why don't you put on some videos of origami and learn from that? Or why don't you attend meet with Chris Shiv more often, because he's into origami, he's older than you. So my learning style may be that I pick up insight from a lot of experts and then I try. So obviously that's mine, but I assumed it's the best thing for my son also. And I was trying my best to nudge him and convince him that, look, when you like something, try to. And he is crystal clear in his mind that he has zero interest at this point to ask anybody anything. And he's absolutely adamant, okay. He's like, look, let me do it my way. I am really not interested in asking anyone. So I really think it all comes down to just accepting that, because otherwise it becomes a frustration point for you as a parent, right? You get stuck on that and then you obsessed with finding ways to change their mind. And I mean, if there's one thing we've learned as wives and mothers now, you can't change anybody, okay? You can only change yourself. So I said, okay, leave it. I'm sure. And this thing is that he's actually very good. He's got his own individual style. And maybe sometimes I say, it's okay. I mean, why am I stuck on this belief that you have to be very humble about learning something and you have to say, no, I must learn from him. Maybe he really believes that his way is the best way right now and it's okay. So I just have to back off rather than make him lose interest or enthusiasm in his own way. So that's the role, is to back off and probably just observe. And if I suppose I feel at some point, I mean, I keep trying to expose him in my subtle ways, whatever exposure means. Like I will coincidentally put on a video about origami and watch it while he's sitting around, hoping he will come and sit with me. He's too clever for that, doesn't fall for any of the tricks. And I'm telling you, he doesn't fall for any of the tricks. So he will, when he's ready, I suppose he will, he'll ask. I mean, recently we've been started going to the stadium to play, and there are a lot of older boys playing football there. So my elder one, he's never played football before. I told him, why don't you watch these guys or go play with them? He just took his football and ran right into that group of older boys and said, okay, play with me. And he was playing whatever his version of football. Didn't want to ask anyone. Now, what do I do in this situation? Do I just leave it to him or try to advise?
So I'll give you a tip. You know what you should do, Chitra, since you are good at writing, you should write an article, 10 ways to do whatever is that XYZ. So now the moment you're writing 10 ways of doing it, you will include your ways. So you will feel important. And you will also include the child ways, the elder child ways and younger child ways, and the spouse's ways and your brother's ways and so on.
Yeah.
And if you want, increase it to 20 ways of doing it or 30 ways of doing it. That way, we are now all the ways are at par because they are just different ways. Nothing is superior or inferior or better or so.
Correct. So what comes in our way is our own beliefs that, there's, why you should be approaching learning in a particular way, or you should, think that you know nothing. If you think only the fool thinks he knows everything. All these beliefs are so drilled into our mind. Like I feel like you have to associate learning with humility and, learn from others who have been there before you. But I have to now accept that maybe he's just different.
Or I think not only we all are different and
exactly
different. I guess.
So we have to let go. That's the only way.
Yeah, I think we just have to be and let them be. Let them be. That's all. I feel the more कभी कभी मैं बोलती हूँ ऐसा, मुझे बहुत स्ट्रांगली लगता है, मैं आई समटाइम्स वर्बलाइज दैट आल्सो इन वर्ड्स दैट यस रत्नेश इज वार्निंग, आई कॉट यू yawning, sorry. Ratnesh is yawning, yeah, I got you. So I was saying kabhi kabhi I just tell myself also a little louder कि कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है, उन्हें छोड़ दो, बस वो जो कर रहे हैं वो करने दो, उतना हो जाए तो ही बहुत है, इससे ज्यादा शायद कुछ ना करे तो चलेगा.
Yeah, but what about the need of me being a parent, like what Ratnesh had suggested, that अच्छा लिख लो तो अपना importance बन जाए. So
Yeah. And I've also
So
been
that-
reminding myself,
Yes,
something
Ikra.
Ratnesh said in the Ratnesh said in the last we talk, that line stayed with me. Teach the child or reach the child. What do you want? So I definitely, if you keep reach the child in your mind, it's little easier to back off. And that
Yes.
and also in our Jagrati conversation, I've seen this right now going on, that observing or not participating doesn't mean you're disengaged. You are still very much there, you're still very much observing, you're still very much available to the child should they
Yeah.
want to, but you're not getting in the way.
True.
Yeah, one thing even for I myself, like I feel like reaching out to me is also important. Yeah, though, so but keeping this open, that okay, this is the way I see, if you would like it, like if I give as a choice, that has worked, like after these many years. Now I feel it is working, that okay, I want to reach out to my need as well, that acha, like when recently he started digital art, I started reaching out to different people, like my friend's son, he is into digital art, he has done his masters, so acha, like call Mohan bhaiya abhi, kind of. What about him, like every week let us gather our work and let us put on Discord ROHX pay, like so all those things. But yes, so I would say, and that is now after all these years, this is a clear communication, that okay, I will also express my need, okay, my ways, and that is now in front of him. If he chooses one of them, great. If it doesn't choose, because now I am okay having slaps on my face right there, okay, so that is I'm okay with now, thick skinned. So if it discard on my face, that is okay. But yes, reaching out to me and reaching out to him, so both the combination give as a set of choice set. Whatever he selects, fine. Whatever he does discard, that is also fine. Yeah, so
That's a great
Yeah.
point. That's a great point, Dhaval. I mean, I think it's important that even as a skill, generally, just to listen to multiple perspectives and then choose is also an important thing. So, that's something to say, have your say. But to be detached, whether they accept your say or not, that is important. But yes, I think we should also have our say.
अपना इम्पोर्टेंस तो रखो भाई.
मतलब रखना चाहिए कि नहीं वो नहीं पता है, लेकिन हम रखते हैं. आई थिंक लेट्स पुट इट दैट वे. Do you remember any such incidents with any child which must have come just right on your face कि oh my god, मतलब मना कर दिया नहीं? I mean the child, I mean children are any which ways very very clear about their ways of doing, and I very strongly feel that I remember when I read your respect wala article first time, it was like a hard slap on my face. I realized that actually when children are, at least when they are young, once they are exposed to the concept of all this request and all, then things are different. But I remember when I read it for the first time, the children are neither looking for a respect nor they are interested in giving all that. They are just interested in doing their stuff. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's so true. So I'm sure that there are areas or there are experiences in life where you must have tried to do something with the child, and children are so clear, no, I don't want it, okay, you keep it to yourself, I'll do it my ways. So any such incidents you remember, or any of your learning that after that incidents, if you can share with us, as we are talking about experiences only.
Well, I would say the other way around is actually been something which has been my staple diet. So I try to now copy, not just now, for last almost 10-15 years. I've been trying to copy their style. So it's the other way around. Okay, if they are eating this way, maybe I say khaunga. If they're walking this way, I'll also walk this way. So constantly trying to cheat on them and cheat their styles and copy their styles and see what kind of fun I get when I try their styles. And many a times it's just amazing, because when you do it in their style rather than they doing in your style, so you are
Yeah.
copying, it's just so much more fun. And sometimes the children are like, what, really? I mean, at this age you are going to do it this way? Because they could be trying something very funny, or and it becomes so much amazing, like peanuts. Just the other day, one child was eating peanuts by throwing it up in the air and catching it in his mouth, right? Yeah, high up, not just this much, really high. So I said, okay, I also want to try and eat that way, and we ended up having a competition kind of a thing. So it was just that much more fun, right? Suddenly the
Yeah.
life, I would say, becomes
Yes.
that much more enjoyable when you copy them rather than they copying you. Right? It's just the way you spread the sauce, or where the sauce seems to be more than anything else, the food.
Yeah.
So
So
we,
sometimes, yeah, sorry.
yeah, so we have to try that. We have to try that to. I'm not saying I like everything. Obviously, I straight away reject. Wow, whatever.
Yeah.
This is not done. This is not my whatever. But then it's fun to just explore, and it gives a different kind of a connection with them, because then they realize, okay, so it's not just his style that we are supposed to model or copy. Our styles can be modeled by anybody, which means the world
Yeah.
isn't about one direction. It's about a million
Yeah.
directions, maybe.
Yeah, it's a good
Wow.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful point, I think. Yeah, and how we feel when somebody is with us in our style. I think it's the similar experience for a child also. That's so beautiful. Wow. Yeah. So
And
I was.
for us also, it is easy, right? Going with the flow. Like instead of going against the current, it's
Yeah.
going with the flow. Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
maybe that is how it is more fun. And also I am enriching myself with different ways. So yes.
Yeah. I think just when Ratnesh was mentioning about how about we explore children styles, I was also wondering. It's almost about sailing in the same boat. It's almost about telling them that the same feeling that we are saying, that we are very important. Uh, Similarly, I think they also may feel that okay, oh, my style is also registered somewhere, and I think this is something that I have never experienced and never done before. But yes, Ratnesh, I'm going to copy this now. This whole idea. So I think we wanted to bring more experiences in this whole learning style, whatever we have talked about. So any closing experience, anything that you would like to share with everybody, anything that you want to tell everybody, what are your learnings about learning styles, being with your child?
Yeah. Also, if you have any questions related to learning
Yeah,
styles, yeah.
You
So one
also
more
have
thing I wanted to quickly share is, another thing which preoccupied me a lot. My elder son, he is very competitive. Okay, and again, I had a problem with it. Like I really had an issue accepting it. Somewhere in my head, it is like not a nice thing. And this whole route we have chosen to get away from mainstream schooling and all is to, get away from this rat race, competition, this and that. But really, competition really motivates one of my boys. Okay, like he will do something and say, "See, Mama, I earned 60 points," and that just drives him. And I would constantly say, "Yeah, but did you enjoy doing it? It's great you earned 60 60 points, but did you enjoy it? Yeah, I enjoyed it, but I earned 60 points. His
That's what he's enjoying.
But so and again, that took me a lot of kind of really I have to hold. I still am not completely comfortable with it, and I would love to hear how others address this. Whereas in mainstream schooling, of course, you are encouraged to be competitive, and a lot of people say, how will your boys deal with competition? And I'm thinking, like, I think he will have no problem dealing with competition. He loves it. So, but I consciously keep trying to pull him away from being competitive. That's what drives.
Yeah, so Chitra, that's very interesting because we are. I think if you realize that there are two different things, us being competitive and competition. I think they're totally two different things. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Competitiveness is a strength that we have, or let's call it a quality that we have. We all have it. We may use it or not. You are choosing not to use it. Somebody else may choose to use it. But that's a strength or a quality. While competition is a format, right? In a format in which, let's say, somebody says something that now there will be a singing competition, and let's see who sings very well. Right? So if we separate the two out, then we value the spirit or the quality of competitiveness, but we need not subscribe to the format of competition. Yeah, so I'm just saying the quality is something which we can value, we can enjoy, we can relish in whoever wants to use, like your older son wants to use that quality in his life at this moment, right? And again, he's not going to use it in everything. He may use it in
Yeah.
few things, but if for certain things he will just be with himself. Let us say for eating or for singing or whatever. For certain things, he will just be non-competitive, as in he's not using that strength. And in certain things, he values that quality because that gets him, as they say, gets his adrenaline going or gets him to be able to achieve or deep dive or get really immersed into something. Yeah. So I think not wanting competition is different, but competitiveness is a strength or a quality. When, at least in my mind, when I separated these two out, then I had a lot of peace because then I could
Yeah.
relish that in children, the spirit or the quality of it. Forget children, even in myself. When I play cards, I'm very competitive. I want to win and whatever. I want to make the best move so that. So you see, there's nothing wrong or right about competitiveness. It's the format of competition that makes the whole thing, sour, if that is what you don't like.
Yeah,
Wow.
no, that's really helpful. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think how amazing it is if we can just separate this two.
Yeah,
Rakesh,
I actually
7
didn't
बजे
think
8
of it
बजे का
from
नया
that.
नया ज्ञान.
I didn't think of that distinction, but when you see it that way, I think it's really useful
Yeah.
for me to deal with this. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it kind of allows us to, it eases our path of accepting the child as it is, and at the same time not falling into the trap of competition, which we are kind of very consciously about being there. Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bawal, any thoughts, any questions you also have in mind, or anything you want to share?
Yeah, it was same thing like yours back when Krishiv came back, when he used to go to school, and when he came back saying that Acha, teacher appreciated me today because I was the only one who was answering. And today now let me, you make me do this thing more. And then I did not give heed to that. That Baba, we don't want to go to that path that Acha, somebody is appreciating and that's why I'm doing. But yes, right now if I can see that acha, it is child's that I wouldn't say, I would say need plus that competitiveness that acha, I want to shine out in the class.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now I could relate that incident, and I did not touch that point that acha mujhe nahi karwana just because you want to because that does not go with my set ideas
Set of
of
beliefs, yeah.
learning. Yeah.
True. Yeah,
So
amazing.
I have one more question. If anyone can share experiences on this learning style aspect of when you have two kids, usually the younger one tends to just follow. I don't know. At least I've observed my sons, and I've seen with my other friends. They seem to say the same thing. Who have two children, that the younger one just sort of feels compelled to do what the older one is doing, even though it may not be of their interest. And and they I don't know this. If I suggest something to the younger one, he won't do it. But if his brother is doing it, he will do it, even though I know for a fact he's not that into it. So, how do others deal with the learning context in the sibling, the learning style in the sibling context?
So
It's
Chitra,
everyday struggle in my home.
yeah, but there's again, I think there are two different things we are talking about. If you're saying that he's following the elder one's interest, then again, those are the contents, right? Let's say elder one says, let's play cricket. So he's also saying, I'll play cricket. Elder says, let's watch whatever XYZ channel. So he's also saying, yeah, let's watch that channel. So then that's not nothing to do with the style. That's to do with the content. And for whatever reason, he
Interesting.
values whatever interest the elder one is picking, the younger one is valuing that. Even I did that when I was a little kid. I would play the sport that my brother played or whatever. But the interesting thing is, if you notice carefully, that their styles will still be different. He would have his own style of playing
Yes.
cricket. He would have his own style of watching that particular channel, or what he's watching in that channel. The older one might be liking the action more. The younger one might be liking whatever the sounds more, and he will be making the sounds the whole day. Rather than and the older one might be making the actions the old way, or the other way around. So I think the beauty is to enjoy within the same content there are different styles, which I'm sure you are doing it as a mother, and hopefully catching them on camera also, how they are, while they could be into the same thing, as in, let's say, playing cricket, but they could be doing it very, very differently.
Very
How they
different.
run, how they bat, how they ball, each would be very, very different. And again, I think there will be some amount of copying of styles also. I may see somebody else's style, which is a very, very, very important way of learning, which is called as cheating, which we talked about in the last session. Cheating is an
Yeah.
amazingly important way of learning, where we cheat from others because we see that they are more effective. So they cheat
Yeah.
from parents, children cheat from each other, children cheat from everywhere. Because cheating is the most honest way of learning, because you see somebody doing something in a certain way and you say, that's an effective way, because he's able to do it better than me. So I might as well do it how he is doing. At least I will try. So if the
Yeah.
younger one again is trying by seeing the older one, uh,
I
then
think
that's actually, oh
we lost
yeah,
Pavel on Facebook. Yeah.
yeah. So I would say, first of all, if it's only interest, that's anyway, it doesn't matter, because the contents will anyway keep changing. Today he's following what what a brother is doing. Tomorrow, when he has a girlfriend, he will follow what his girlfriend is saying, and so on and so forth. Right? So
Yeah.
don't worry about the content, but he will have his own style. And I think
No,
that's
that's
the
great.
beauty
Yeah.
of, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way I would look at it.
Ratnesh,
Yeah.
yesterday we had a Guru Purnima. So,
Yeah,
so
I'm taking notes because I'm getting so many good, useful insights for myself. Like, these are just actions one can take every day.
yeah.
Observing the style versus focusing on the content is again something very
Yeah.
practical that one doesn't think of in the moment. But if I'm conscious now, I can observe it very differently.
And
Yeah.
as I was saying, if you want to take it to the next level, videotape, let's say, both your sons, okay, without telling them, meaning they are playing, you are videoing them, and then analyze with them, sit with them, project it on a TV and say, let's see how you play, let's see how you, and how the younger one play, and let's see how Virat Kohli plays. Just for fun. So then they realize, okay, so learning this is very interesting. They won't call it learning, no need to call anything learning. but you realize, oh wow, this is something very interesting to explore. How each one of us is, let's say, doing something very differently.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And in fact, I love the idea of taking a video, to take the video in a slow motion. I mean, that will really give them an effect of, oh, this is an actual match. My hand is going like this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
actually, even in just accepting that, even for them, it's like for everybody, it's okay to uh, be, to just realize that every style is okay, is
Yeah,
also
Yeah,
useful, right? Not
yeah.
even that
yeah,
one should think only my style is right or I'm doing it wrong, someone else is doing it right, only Virat knows how to do it right. Everybody has their own style, it's okay.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I
Yeah,
think
so
when you
you
are
ended
saying,
up with 10 ways.
Yeah.
and I was also thinking, if it's, the child is young, a lot of time it also instills that belief in them, in them, that okay, oh, I also already have a style. I think
Hmm.
sometimes the very young children, they, when they are like kind of, they have already elder brother or sister sibling in the house, they also start feeling that, oh, she knows how to do this, but I do not know. But
Hmm.
sometimes I feel when they see themselves doing certain things, it just makes them realize that, okay, oh, I am also doing it in a different way, so I have my
Yeah.
style.
My
And
own
maybe,
style.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, that may become a discovery. Yeah. Lovely. Anything left, Ratnesh, Chitra, Bhaval? Anything left? I think we have lost Bhaval on Facebook, so I'm not trying to bring more perspectives on here. Otherwise, Facebook people will not be able to see that. But yeah, something. If you feel very, very important, then I will just share it on Facebook also. Bhaval, yeah, all covered. Great. Lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, then thank you. Thank you so much, Chitra, Bhaval. It is wonderful hearing both of your experiences of this different learning styles. And Ratnesh, I don't know, I मेरे को लगता है कितना थैंक यू बोलूंगी यार, मतलब अभी पूरा बार बन
Exactly.
जाएगा.
We're just learning from each other. That's all.
Yeah, I have enough material to write a article for you, Ratnesh.
Super, super, yeah. Now we can have We Talk notes also, like we can
Yes.
Yeah.
upload that now. Lovely.
We talk article series. I like that.
Yeah,
We talk
we talk.
notes.
Yeah.
I
We
have
have
a little
another style coming
sketch.
in the camera. Yeah. Lovely.
Okay.
Thank you, Ratnesh. Thanks, Pavel.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Chitra. See you
Thank
again. Yeah.
you. Bye. See you.
Bye. Bye.
Okay. How to stop this?